Hi everyone, I'm here with your 833 lesson, How Can I Compare Them? Unit Conversion. Have you ever heard someone use the expression, they are like apples and oranges? Usually the person talking means that the two things they are talking about are so difficult that they are hard to relate to each other. For example, it is hard to decide which is heavier, a million feathers or 1,000 bricks. The information you have does not describe their weight, and the two kinds of objects are so different that trying to reason about which is heavier is very difficult. To compare two kinds, it is useful to find ways to relate them to each other. Often, quantities cannot be compared without doing some calculations or rewriting them in equivalent forms. As you work today, think about the quantities that you are comparing and what you need to do to be able to make a good comparison. So flip over to problem 8108. So in the previous problem, 8107, you are introduced to y and Jafai. They are gerbils, and we will pick up here. 8108, why is it that y and Jafai cannot compare the rates of their gerbils directly from the measurements that they took? That is, what makes it difficult to compare 2 yards per 20 seconds and 20 feet per 1 minute to find out which gerbil is faster? So in that question, it tells us about yards, it tells us about feet, it tells us about seconds, it tells us about minutes. So none of our units are currently the same. So they cannot be compared because the units aren't the same. So let's look what they want us to do now. One way to begin changing the rates so that they can be compared is to make the time measurements have the same units. The times for gerbils are given in minutes or seconds. Knowing that there are 60 seconds in a minute, decide if you want to use minutes or second and convert both time measurements to the same unit. So you should know that in 1 minute, there are 60 seconds, and 1/3 of a minute is 20 seconds. Jinfei has decided to change both of the time measurements into minutes. He started the diagram at right to find the rate for Wei's gerbil. Why did Jinfei label the diagram with 1/3 of a minute? Well, we just answered it up here. 1/3 of a minute represents 20 seconds. And we're actually going to skip part B. Well, actually, no, we're not. Can you use the diagram to find out Wei's gerbil rate and compare it to Jafani's gerbil rate to decide which is faster? If not, what do you still need? So be careful here, because yes, we're both in minutes now, but we still have yards and feet. So we can't compare yards and feet because they're two different unit measurements. So we need to convert yards to feet. So 8111, if you have not done so already, use the fact that 3 feet are equal to 1 yard to modify the diagram in problem 8110 to show how many feet Y's gerbil travels in 1 minute, then decide whose gerbil goes faster. So we know that we already have one guy measured (20 feet per 1 minute, so 20 feet per 60 seconds for Jafani's. So Jinfei and so let's go back up to our diagram to help us. 2 yards is actually 6 feet. So if we're converting this, because we know from down here that 3 feet are equal to 1 yard. So I'm changing all these into feet. So now we just have to add them together. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. So that would be 1 minute that he would travel 18 feet. So Wise Gerbil travels 18 feet per minute. Therefore, Jinfai's gerbil is faster. Okay. (8.113). A professional speed walker who is training for the Olympics can walk 2 miles in 16 minutes. Calculate the following rate. Refer to the math notes box following the lesson if you need help with unit conversions. So on the back is your math note box. If you need help with conversions, it's right here. But I would like you to try part A, B, C, and D for this problem, and that's going to be something that we discuss in class. So if you have any questions, please let me know, but your job is to finish 8.113.